Oh, hey there. It's been a minute since I made a video, and here's why. When I was making my video, I was laid off from my job because of COVID. But then in June, I got another job, and making videos was a lot harder to find time for. But I thought it was time to jump right back into making videos. Why? Well, aside from the job, I had a huge project undergoing, which was remodeling my entire house. Carpet, paint on all the walls, everything. Why does that interest you? Because part of that remodeling job involved this, a new arcade. I'll make a separate video on that later. Why I wanted to get to a video as soon as possible tonight is because this came in, the Atari VCS. I feel like I've been waiting on this for years. I think I actually backed it years ago, maybe a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago. I don't know, it was a long time ago. And now, here it is, finally sitting here. The Atari VCS, if you recall, the original Atari 2600 was originally called the Atari VCS, Video Computer System. It was later named the Atari 2600. The model I got is the Onyx version, which they call the Atari VCS 800 Onyx. The 800 portion, I assume, also pays homage to one of Atari's first computer systems, the Atari 800, which had, what was that game that was really cool, like Pac-Man, and you'd get your teeth brushed. Anyway, I didn't have it, but it was the closest thing you can get to Pac-Man on a home machine. I don't know. Anyway, it was like Pac-Man, go around and maze, eat things, and then when you clear the board, you get your teeth brushed. I wanted that so bad because it was before the Pac-Man for the 2600 came out, and we all know when the Pac-Man for the Atari 2600 came out, it was really a disappointment. I've never done an unboxing video before, but I thought this is the first Atari machine I've received, bought since early 80s, man, so it's been a long time. So where do we start with an unboxing? I guess the first thing I need to do is move my delicious beverage. We'll just put that right over here. You know what's getting me really excited is seeing all the Atari logos. I know we have Atari products today like Roller Coaster Tycoon and the flashback systems and other games, but just to have a unit, original Atari font, original Atari logo. Aren't you so glad they never rebranded? They even paid homage to kind of like that late 70s look. The system itself, I know you can get a wood grain option for the front. I didn't get that for some reason. I don't remember why, because it was years ago. But you can see the grooves that were influenced by the Atari 2600. The shape is influenced by the Atari 2600. It looks very retro. So as far as design goes, so far I think Atari just did a phenomenal job. Also, you can get the Atari VCS kind of like the new modern controller, but they also have one that is wireless, more like the classic controller. So this is going to be a fun system. I can't wait to open this up and see what it's all about. So let's go ahead and open this. I didn't bring my knife, and I need a knife. One of the other rooms we did in the remodeling is an oddities room, which has a bunch of cool shit in it. Like, I think it's the coolest room in the house, which is also our guest room. And I swear to God, if you come over and stay in our guest room, you'll probably be scared to sleep all night. It's that awesome. I went into our oddities room, which is right next door, and I got this authentic, like, Middle Eastern dagger. So, man, that's like out of like Assassin's Creed or something, right? Ooh, I didn't realize that was that sharp. Cut through it like butter. No, I'm kidding. Never cut towards you. Oh, this is cool. So, you see that there? Has like the old school asteroids on the box. A couple of Atari logos. I don't know if you can see this on the film, but it's getting pretty lit up by the black lights I have. But here's a quick start guide on how to hook it up. All right, so seriously, I am super excited about this because I have not opened up an Atari system since Christmas when I got my 5200, right? Yeah, I never had a Jaguar or anything. Well, I did have an Atari Lynx I bought myself when I was in college. That Atari Lynx was awesome, by the way, especially that Warbirds game, the Red Baron biplane. That was super cool. Ooh, very tiny. All right, so I have the Onyx version. It has the gloss black front on the front. You can see the grooves, reminiscent of the original Atari 2600. Like I said, they did make an addition with the wood grain. I think I would have preferred the wood grain. Maybe I was too late to back that. Maybe the Onyx is the good version. I have no idea. I don't care. I'm not even going to look it up because I don't even care. I believe it's not only a game system, but also can go into PC mode where you can do whatever you want. And we're just going to figure this out together. Just like everything else I do. I never plan anything. I just take out a game and say, look, here's a new homebrew. We're going to play it together. And then I fail like 1,000 times. And for some reason, I had like 2 people watch my videos. So thanks. And I'm talking about you, Young. You're my biggest fan there. Red back so you can see what the hell you're doing. Couple USBs, HDMI, network cable, and power source. And I guess that's the power button. Yeah, that's what I would guess. 2 USBs in the front, which I guess is where the controllers will go into. Let's set that there, see what else is in this box. Power supply. That's the boring stuff. The other piece of the power supply. It's sweet of them to include an HDMI cable. A lot of companies just don't do that anymore. And you know what? Son of a bitch. That's all she wrote. That's all that's in there. So if you want like real instructions, this is your quick start guide. If you need the extra, who am I talking to? This is the Atari 2600 crowd, the original Atari people. We never read instructions. That's why everybody thought ET sucked. It didn't suck. It was a great game. You just had to read the instructions on how to play. Just like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark was one of my favorite games on the Atari 2600. You had to learn to play. Most people didn't figure out, oh, it takes 2 controllers. It was the first game that ever uses 2 controllers to navigate, and the first game to ever like have inventory management. Did you know that? I could be wrong, but I'm like 96.9% sure that was the first inventory management game. All right, let's jump to a controller. Not the one I just knocked over and broke. Sorry, if you're looking at me now going, oh my God, what a disgusting slob. I did fluff up a little bit since my COVID days. Like when I didn't have a job, I could like work out and run and play video games all day long. But now I got a job, it's like, I'll sit at my desk and do my job and get fat. So this is one of the classic controllers. Let's do one of the newfangled ones as well. All the kids like they get newfangled controllers with more than one button.
Back in my day, we only had one button, one joystick, and one button.
Still got the asteroids, Atari logos all over. Love it. All right, so this is a wireless classic. Ooh, I'm not even gonna finish my sentence. It is wireless, but it does come with a thankfully very long USB cord. What kind of USB is this? What is this? 1979? It comes with like a micro USB, not a USB-C. No, they're going way retro on that. But I'm amazed at this beautiful piece of art. Can you see that? Atari logo button. Don't know what it does. Oh, it lit up. Button. Guess that's the classic fire button. You got another button to confuse you a little more. And you got a back button, and I guess that's a menu button. It has lines on it. It could mean bacon. But anyway, this, ooh, look at that. Up, see it light up, down. Oh gosh, 8 directions, and it lights up whatever way you're controlling. Can you see that? I am just giddy with. You ever notice when you were growing up, like everybody had a different way to hold the controller, and like your way was the best and everybody else did it wrong? Like people were weird that held it like that, right? Like weird people held the joystick clasp like that. My brother and a few of his friends, they would hold it like this, which I also thought was weird. Like they would control them like, man, your little twitch reflexes can't really do that. I found the best way. I would hold it like this. And I felt like I had complete control of the joystick that way. I became one with the joystick. Love the design. Okay, here comes the wireless modern controller. Asteroids again. Couldn't do anything else like Centipede or some other Atari game. Okay. Finally. Okay, so another 1969 USB, micro USB. I guess it will charge it too because it does say wireless. Looks like your standard Xbox controller. Looks exactly like a standard Xbox controller, which means we can get pretty complex. And I don't know if I'm all about getting complex. We're gonna have to see what kind of games they come out that use this. Because I'm not about to play Fortnite. Classic controller, Atari VCS, 800 Onyx, and the modern controller. I would go ahead and hook the VCS up here, but that is not a 4K TV. It does require, I don't know if it requires, but it is a 4K device, so I'm going to go into the theater. Here's just a quick sneak peek at my arcade. There's a lot more going on here, but we'll get to that later. All right, so what we're gonna do tonight is just the Fast and Furious hookup. All right, Atari VCS, power source, right, the old switch there, HDMI cable. We're gonna plug it into front of the receiver here, just to get it going. HDMI. Hope you guys are staying healthy. I kinda am. I'm gonna push the power button. Haven't done this yet. Ready? Mine's defective. Oh, no it's not. Hey. Look at that. Better turn that up. Not that high. Pairing. Paired it. That was easy. Alright. Back button, select button. Oh, so the joystick also rotates left and right, this thing's called spinner. So spinner's built in right there. So if you play Warlords, you're like, yeah, I'm spinning. Push it. We'll go with English today. That's mine at work, spicy ketchup. Connected. Alright, we are Wi-Fi connected with my Atari VCS 800 Onyx. Installing updates. 83.
One eternity later.
I am not looking good on camera. They say the camera adds 10 pounds. It like added 50 for me. Wait. It was like 83 updates installing. Well, now it's like 96.
One eternity later.
Well, that's very anticlimactic. Okay, it's restarting. I don't know if you can see this, but the little Atari logo glows right here, which I think is pretty cool. Anytime I see the Atari logo, I feel nostalgic. I love it. The fan came on, must be getting hot. It's a loud fan. But can you hear this fan going? It's a pretty loud fan. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to use this controller. I think it wants me to pair again. There we go. We're going through the same thing. Pretty cool. Oh. It updated and we're going back through the whole thing. Oh, good God, we did this already.
One eternity later.
Hey, remember the good old days when you just got a console, plugged it into the TV, plugged in the cartridge and turned it on? Oh, you heard that fan go off, huh? That's audibly different. What the freak? As I was saying, remember when you got a console, plugged it into a TV, plugged in the cartridge, turned it on, and you were ready to play?
One eternity later.
It's a school night. It's Monday, right after New Year's. I just want to play. I just want to play my Atari. Fan came back on.
One eternity later.
Still dig it. Okay. After all that, I'm not going to create an account. We're just going to go as a guest. So that's our home. Games. Nothing. Apps. Nothing. Store. Oh, so here's where I can download some stuff. Oh, look at these little cute games. Look, they make it, they put it in the same font and kind of cartridge art for the 2600, so it looks nostalgic. I like that. I like that it looks like a box art for old 2600 games. Well, maybe I should create an account. Oh, what should my account be? We got Punch Face, Breakout, Centipede, Knight Rider, some sort of Ninja Golf, 3D Tic-Tac-Toe or something, Warlords, Earth World. If anybody liked the Sword Quest games, the Sword Quest games, I think, in my book, were actually the worst games. E.T. was not. Sword Quest games were. Outlaw. You know what? I think I'm going to be the outlaw, because I kind of feel like an outlaw sometimes.
One eternity later.
6-digit pin?
One eternity later.
So one thing for sure, gone are the days where you just plug it in and play. So home, we just got the VCS vault. We don't have any games loaded. Oops. Except the VCS vault. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's also kind of cool. Okay, so we got some classic games here. There, but I felt like I couldn't do anything. So let's try it again. I hope there's a lot more games we can add to the vault here. Somehow my controls got messed up. This isn't making sense. I would think you would be able to just twist this fire, but my fire somehow became, and up became the fire. Alright, so my camera stopped on me on that last one. I played a little bit of Asteroids. It was okay. It wasn't like, I thought you should be able to like turn the remote, so this doesn't seem as supported as it would seem to be. And I couldn't change the controls very easily. It wasn't intuitive. It seemed to freeze up, so that wasn't very fun. I did end up going to the App Store because I'm not very impressed with what came preloaded on here. It had some of the old school vector games, maybe Centipede, Crystal Caverns. Those two are cool, but they're trackball games, and I don't have a trackball. It might be kind of cool with the controller, but I'm not going to try it. I played the Asteroids that was on there. it's a vector game, but they tried to add this vector glow, and I don't appreciate that. I just want the clean vector graphics, so them kind of reinventing the old school games isn't working for me. Not a whole lot preloaded on here. Like, if you get this on Christmas Eve and you just have the VCS vault that comes with just the like really early games that you probably don't even want to play right now, like Gravatar. Nobody knows how to play Gravatar. I really thought it would be fun if it came pre-installed with like a lot more Atari classics, maybe from the 2600, 5200, 7800, 800, Jaguar, Lynx, something, you know, just a whole library of some cool things. But out of the box, it's just it's, I don't know, it doesn't feel much more like a Raspberry Pi with some emulators on it. I did go to the App Store. I downloaded this Unsung Warriors. Chrome just installed, so I mean it does have like a PC mode, so it is like a PC, but maybe that's less appealing because you just want more just classic Atari. Like, I could go on my Switch right now and just go to the App Store and download stuff, which I have. I have a lot of stuff, and I like my Switch. This game seems pretty cool. I hope I don't have to go through all the stuff again. But yeah, you can download games, which pretty cool. So this game seems kind of cool, but again, it's not unique to Atari. I can go to the App Store on my Apple TV, on my iPhone, on the Switch, and it's pretty much the same experience so far. I mean, aside from the design hardware, aside from the design hardware, which is very nostalgic, the Atari logos everywhere, and things that you can find on any other flashback emulator, arcade 1-up, 12-in-1 system I have that has all those games. This doesn't feel like, what's the box say, like to open up a whole new generation of Atari fans. There's nothing unique here. It's a system with an app store. It should come preloaded with a lot more fun things.
One eternity later.
Well, there you go, folks. It's a ultra cool design, very retro, very sleek, classic controller, classic feel. Turn it on. You're not greeted with all that classic nostalgia. I'll do a follow-up video, let you know what else I find on the App Store, what else I discover on this. I mean, you saw Chrome come up here. It should have a PC mode. see if it's worth using more than just a video game system. I'm not sure yet, but you know, right off the bat, I love the unboxing. I love the nostalgia. I wish it had more preloaded on it. It didn't. You don't have that out of the box experience you did when you even got your first Atari system and got maybe 2 games you can plug in and play. Right now, I aside from the awesome hardware, you know, I could probably just do the same thing on my Switch or my Apple TV. Like, subscribe. I'm not a very good self-promoter, but yeah, go ahead and subscribe. So the hardware is cool. The system is very retro, pays a lot of homage to the original systems. You get the classic controller, but you turn it on and it's not much different from any other console or even a Raspberry Pi. I can pretty much do the same thing with my Apple TV, my iPhone, my Switch, which is basically turn it on, go to an app store, see what type of indie games they have. But I will do a follow-up. We're going to explore this a little deeper. I just wish once you fired it up, you had a lot more to do. We had some old vector games, Centipede, Crystal Caverns, which is kind of cool, but you know, those are trackball games. And the rest of the games, you know, I have like on the arcade 1-up 12-in-1 system, the old vector games, which is, I think, always more fun to play contextual with a stand-up arcade. I'm not sure how it's going to translate to one of these controllers, but I wish it came with more of that Atari fanfare. That's what we're missing here, is the Atari fanfare. Like the retro design and everything is so perfect. I wish you opened this up, plugged it in, and it's like 2,600 favorites, 5,200 favorites, 7,800 favorites, Jaguar favorites, Link favorites, 800 favorites. Everything Atari. It's like, you should have just been like, oh, I'm in such nostalgia heaven, because that's what the hardware led you to believe. But when you turn it on, it's just like a Raspberry Pi. So we'll explore more. I'll do a follow-up, and we'll catch you next time.